listeners, welcome to the Daily Pick a Card and birthday reading for November 22nd. If you were born today after sunrise, you are a Jack of Hearts. If you were born before sunrise, you're actually yesterday's card, which was a Queen of Hearts. So I'm going to read each card individually, then all together for the collective. We're going to talk about the energy of today, the high vibe, the low vibe, what we might be bumping up into that Jack of Hearts energy. First day of Scorpio season. We are Jupiter, so we've got a whole new month ahead of us with a lot of different energy emerging. I so love that it's a Jack of Hearts day. It just seems so appropriate for Sagittarius season. All right, so we're going to do that, and then we're going to wish the Jack of Hearts a very happy birthday. This is your solar year cards. They are here to help you help yourself in raising your vibration to energize your manifesting abilities. So if you pick card number 1, you got the 5 of Hearts. Well, this is an interesting card as well. It is sometimes referred to as the struggling artist card. But you know, the thing about being an artist or being a creative in any sense is that you're always full of ideas. And that's really the nugget that you want to be taking away with this card. Because no matter how long it takes to get there, this card gives you so much. It's Jupiter led for one thing. So that's joyful and it's expansive and it just wants to make the most of everything. And for that, you get all of these ideas and you put them down on paper. Maybe you do post-it notes. I don't know. However, you keep record of what you want to revisit and go back to it because it's all good. You just end up taking the best thing with you to begin with. You ride that wave, produce what you're going to produce, and then when you are settling, got yourself through it, making the most of something, because that's the other thing that the 5s do. They just know what to spruce up and what to run with. It takes them a little while, it's trial and error, so you may be facing some of that today, but it is really this success after trying. I won't call it failure because everything has some takeaway for you, but it's really wanting to rise to the challenge, right? This is heart, so it's emotions. And for that, intimacy challenges with holding your emotions in place while you go through the things that you need to do. That's why it's even like the best kind of creativity, because you really have to dig deep. You really have to understand what you're feeling. And there has to be this active appreciation for it. So I think, it really does make great sense to be that artist card. It is also the Justice card in the major arcana. So there's a lot of accountability. There's a lot of owning and accepting your consequences. It is really taking what you get with a very clear outlook and then being able to make something out of it. It's pretty good. Okay, card number 2. We have the Jack of Spades. So I do look at the chart of the day, and the Jack of Spades is in the K2, South Node position. Now, South Node is what you've brought with you from a past life. So the Jack of Spades is kind of an interesting card to get here, especially for the Jack of Hearts, because the Jack of Hearts is a fixed card. It is that Uranus energy, creative, inventive, but it's also its karma is all kind of wrapped up in itself, which is an interesting thing to explore. And we will get there after I do the 3 cards here when we're talking about how this is all going to play through our day. So, K2 energy is that with bringing with you what needs to be explored and released. It's like oh, how should I put this? Really understanding your karmic connections with family DNA. So, it's like an exploration of why the family doesn't fit. It's kind of like that, but it's what separates you from the crowd or the family, because everyone is here on their own path. And with this being in the chart of the day, it is all about clearing what doesn't fit. You know how when you grow and you realize that you've got some real differences and you need to celebrate those differences. The Jacks are really an interesting card because it's youthful energy. It is Uranus, creative, inventive. It is coming up with clever solutions. We've got this card in the upright position. So this one today is all about alchemy of self. Now I say that because that is you finding what you need in order to really ground yourself in how you are growing. It's really having a dedication to yourself. It's a beautiful card in that way. It encompasses the aces, 2s, and 3s. So it is a understanding of a deeper truth about yourself. It is understanding that there are, in this case, very clever solutions to figuring them out. And then doing the work diligently and understandingly that it's not all going to be roses, but isn't that where all the really yummy, juicy, goopy fodder is that you can grow from that compost? It is one of the best making lemonade out of lemons cards there is. And it's youthful and excited about it and really seeing that it's all wound up in that spiritual journey as well. Okay, card number 3. Oh, good. We got the Fate card. We haven't seen this one in a while. So what I do is I just go through the deck, give it a real quick shuffle, and then I'm just going to let my fingers here on the back side just understand how it feels and which one source and my guides are telling me needs to be the card that wants to be. So the Fate card is what might cross your path today and bring about an understanding of you. It's like, hello. Here's a glimpse of who you are at your core. Oh, I love those. All right. Yeah, it's right here. Okay. Here we go. Yep. Okay, so we got the 3 of clubs in reverse. So it's the big think card. And when clubs come up in reverse, it's often because there is a fogginess or you've got too much information. The 3s are always something of a test. So that cloudy thinking really stymied or stuck, or wondering what it is that you're lacking information, or you've got too much information. It's being divided in your thinking, daydreaming even. It can also end up feeling like defensive. If you've got the information there in front of you and you want to stick to your guns about what you think it is, then there's that conflict. So you could really get triggered by this card in that way, feeling like you did all this work and then you got to do some more, or you got to restructure, which is what the threes do. It's usually for a good thing, but it's always a good thing if you are willing to take a closer look at your triggers, what might happen, because it's always this job, if you will, being the fate card, getting that mirror of who you are at your core is a gift, really, because it gives you an upgrade. It gives you maturity and understanding and responsibility for who you are. The club suit is really lovely for manifesting that energy through source that really helps you understand and see that it's all good. Right? It's all good because we're all on a path, and that's what we're here for. So when and if this comes across your path, someone's questioning your judgment. I mean, it could look like anything that's an intellectual thing. You may take something someone said wrong, maybe way out of context, but whatever it is going to show you a little something about yourself and your triggers. So when that happens, understand what that is, that impulse, that desire. Does it freeze you? I was talking about that fawning response that you can do if you've been conditioned in any way to be less than. Fawning is when you just kind of don't do anything. You freeze like a deer in the headlights. So, and then you get down on yourself afterwards when you realized what you've done. I should have spoke up for myself. Always, in hindsight, logic, and it's not. You just have to accept that that's what happened and understand that it needs a closer look. You pull the string on it, you see where it leads you, and then you understand what is ready to be healed, because that's what the cards do, always in the right measure, because you can do as much or as little as you want. You don't have to jump in whole hog and go pick an argument with someone. All you have to do is understand that that's what happened and just be willing to take a look. Source will bring exactly what you need at the right time. And there's free will in this. You get to choose how much you want to invest in what comes your way. Okay? So no fear. It's a perfect day for this because it's the Jack of Hearts energy out there. It's the first day of Sagittarius season. There's a lighter, more cheerful vibration in the air today. It is starting to move into a reflection of not such a deep emotional, really having that, the death card connotation for Scorpio season, where you need to reinvent yourself on a much deep emotional level, that water energy, that fixed energy. We're now into a mutable sign, willing to look at things differently. And this Jack of Hearts is just such a beautiful card because of that Jack energy. It is the charmer. It's fleeting. It's a lover card. It is changing of perspective. It's flirty and inspiring, and we're in Jupiter season. And as Sagittarius is led by temperance energy. So it's all about balancing ourselves out in a lighter, more joyful, expansive way. Of course, that can't get away from you. That's the other side of Sagittarius. It can be out of your mouth before you've realized you've said it, and it can get you into trouble. So we all kind of want to rein in that expansive energy, just a little, and have fun with it, because the jacks encompass the aces, twos, and threes, just like the Jack of Spades, which makes it so much more interesting when you realize that that is in the chart of the day in the K2 South Node. Got to investigate the DNA energy. I love it for that. So we will go there and we will take a look at it, because that Ace of Hearts is just this opportunity for a peaceful change, security, supported, having this aura of secure emotional stability. And then making that connection, that two energy, it's Empress, moon energy, which is a reflection of the ace. Moon reflects the sun. And it's you realizing this about yourself. Very good card for artistic connections. It's an opportunity, a new change. It is one of hope and possibly romantic connections. And it's also the threes. So, and the threes encompass that temperance energy, that Mars energy, the red threes. So it is a small wish fulfilled. It's emotional growth. So, it's all good. It's fertility as well. It could be experimentation as well. And, that can look different for everyone, but as well as being a fertility card, it can also be a card of an open marriage, of experimentation, and, going with the flow in a more light-hearted, flirty, experimenting kind of way. So it could be an unwanted love triangle in the shadow attributes. And we're going to look at both the shadow and the light attributes of the energy out there today. So there may come some temptation today that is unwelcomed or tempting. So be careful. Be careful what you wish for. It is a small wish fulfilled. So treat it well. All right. So that's what's out there. We're looking like it's going to be kind of fun, I think, because we've got all of this creative energy. The Jack of Spades about ourselves and our well-being. The fives doubling down on that Jupiter energy, that first decan or decan of Sagittarius, Jupiter. So we've got a lot of fresh and ready energy. Okay, let's move on to the birthday. Happy birthday, Sagittarius, Jack of Hearts. You got patience. Creativity takes time, and sometimes a project can seem to be taking too long or seem to be failing. Yeah, that patience can be such a hard one to go with the flow, especially when you are ready, you want to take it somewhere, and for whatever reason, it's just not happening, possibly having interruptions, possibly needing your attention elsewhere. You're ready to go with it, and it just doesn't seem to be able to get going. So patience is your heads up. When you're feeling impatient, you are to sit with that for a little while and take a nice long break for just you, whatever that means. I mean, it could be a cup of tea, could be all you need. It could just be that acceptance of it's not going to happen right at this moment. I'm going to put a lid on my frustration. I'm going to, handle this in a mature fashion and just know that I'll get to it. Anything that is asking you to hurry up and gotta have it done is an ego led triggering emotion. What the true creative impulse doesn't really have a clock. That's why when you're in the studio and you're doing your thing, or you're doing your thing no matter what, we're all living creatively, and you lose track of time. That's when you really, really know what you're doing is what needs to be done, and it can take the time that it takes. It's going to be brilliant whenever it does emerge as finished. All right, let's see what you get for the spirit and nature. The Two of Spades. So this talks about you and how you do you and how you're taking care of you, and having that patience in figuring it out, because this card takes a little extra effort. It's Emperor energy, it's Moon energy, so it's going to have some connections to how you are taking care of yourself. So if you do get frustrated, how do you handle that? It's cures and remedies for your mental health and your physical health. So, are you getting enough exercise? Are you drinking enough water? Are you eating a balanced diet? Yes, we all indulge at times, but are you indulging more so than you should be? Is that somehow getting in the way of you finishing what you want to finish in your heart of hearts? Is there some self sabotage going on? These are the things that are going to come up for you as this year unfolds. And every time that you can spot something to pull the thread on it and understand what your patterns are creatively and otherwise, that is where you get down and do the real work. And what does that do? It raises your vibration just by simply acknowledging it and then taking part in doing it better. Every time you can do that, you add that energy to your well of creativity, and you can draw on that every time you need something. It's beautiful the way it works, raising the vibration of yourself by doing the work. I won't really call it shadow work. I'm just going to call it work, because it's about recognizing and getting excited about an improvement that is going to improve your life overall. And I will just visit your chart for a minute here, because your ecliptic path is that Eight of Clubs. It is that big thinking card. And that's a hard thing to do for a Jack. Jacks live this fast paced energy. It is doing all you can do all the time. You've got that Jupiter energy behind you, Sagittarius energy. So you're probably really enjoying the efforts that you put in. But taking that time out to really connect to what is of value. Now that's your Rahu, your North Node. And the way that you get there, understanding that that is also a reflection of self. So That is your nine of spades, which is the yogi card. So you've got that nine of spades in the moon position, and you've got the jack of spades in your K2. Those are two really key cards for you. The nines are all about letting go of connotations, ideas that you've brought with you from a past life because you've just been ingrained in your DNA, but those are here to be released. That's what your job is. You've got the nine of clubs on the sun. So you've got both black nines. Those are there to help you do what you need to do because deep down, the jacks are always conscious of preparing, kind of like boot camp, to fill the king and queen's shoes someday. So you want to do better. So when you do, if you've done your initiations and gone through your boot camp and you are in it for the best that you can do, you see how this works. You have got to let a lot of those preconceived notions go because you want to do the ruling the way you want to do it, not the way it's always been done throughout the family. You don't step into the king's and queen's shoes and do it their way. You're going to do it your way. So that's what all that letting go is about. That's why you've got the ecliptic of the eight of clubs and the two of diamonds in that eights position, making those valuable connections about who you really, really are at your core. All right. So, and that's why you're a fixed card and have the Jack of Hearts as your overlying and underlying karma card, because that exactly is what you are here to do, to just become the best version of you, knowingly, deeply, emotionally knowing what you're doing. All right, let's look at the wish card. The magic circle. Magic starts with me. I love that. Of course. Yes, absolutely. All right. Well, carpe diem, everyone. Let's be very conscientious of the Sagittarius season, and we will do what we can. We'll stay kind and curious as we all journey creatively.